welcome to City Life. It's really good to have you here with us today. Now, firstly, just to let you know what's coming up this week, on Friday we have a special show with Jill Darcy aimed at parenting beyond separation. Now, roughly 1/3 of marriages end in divorce, and Jill wants to change the term broken family to complex family. So she'll be joining me for a special City Life episode this Friday. Now, today on the programme, the CEO of Women's Refuge, Declan from Chocolat. We chat with some young actors from the Kids Fest show and Style with Stephanie Rumble. But first, National MP Jacqui Dean. Really good to have you here on the programme.
Good morning, thank you for having me. It's fantastic.
Now, what are you up to here in Christchurch? What brings you here?
Well, I wanted to come here with some of my National Party colleagues because I'm based in the Waitaki electorate, which is further south from here, but it's a major tourism destination. And of course, Christchurch is the gateway for that. And so I'm really interested to see what the future holds for us all in the South Island, actually, post-earthquake in terms of tourism, but also in business development. So that's what today is about.
Okay, and you will be meeting some business leaders, including the head of Christchurch and Canterbury Tourism.
That's right, and we'll also be visiting a number of businesses, and I've already spoken to a couple of tourism providers and accommodation providers as well. So it's a mixture of talking to community leaders, but we also want to get out there on the ground and talk to the people who are actually affected by what has been happening to us in the South Island.
Okay, let's look at some of the key messages that you will be giving to these business leaders first of all.
Well, the first thing I want to say to them is we need you guys to be up and running as soon as possible, because without a strong local economy in Christchurch, the rest of the South Island is going to suffer. And so take just, for example, accommodation. Now, I stayed in a beautiful place last night called Huntley Lodge, and the person there said that they have lost their international tourists, but they are picking up on domestic tourists. So things are changing for accommodation providers. And the other thing she noted was that those international tourists are either only staying for one night or they're scratching around for things to do. And so as an accommodation provider and as a tourism leader, Christchurch business needs to know what there is to do here in Christchurch still before they send tourists out into the wider community. And it's really important that tourists feel comfortable coming to Christchurch, have a great time, do lots of interesting things, then come on to Wanaka. That's great. But when they go back to Australia, when they go back to Germany, they need to go back with the message: New Zealand is a fantastic place, Christchurch is a great place, so is Wanaka, and they'll tell all their friends that. And that's where we will all benefit.
Another thing that you'll be aiming to do is to just encourage people to buy locally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a message that I'm saying very strongly around my own area of Waitaki. So, for example, there's a very good, strong tradition of people coming from places like Palmerston and Oamaru and Waimate up to Christchurch to visit family and go shopping, by the way. Well, let's keep doing that. Let's really keep coming to Christchurch, taking our kids to Jelly Park for swimming, going to the movies, going shopping, doing all the things that we love doing in Christchurch. Let's keep doing those things. And I think it's beholden on the local business community of Christchurch to say, hey, come back. It's good here. We are open.
Who else is here with you from the National Party?
Oh, well, I've got Nikki Wagner and Lindsay Tish is coming as well. Lindsay is from the North Island. He has a very strong interest in tourism and business development as well. Amy Adams, of course, is more local, and Nikki is probably one of the stellar people in Christchurch. She is the one who is known for taking her high heels off, putting her gumboots on and getting stuck in. So we've got a great team here today.
And you're getting out there and just talking to other people in Christchurch residents? Will you have that opportunity?
Yes, we will. And that's one of the things that I quite enjoy doing is veering off the beaten track and saying, g'day, how are you, how's it going? And so we will be fitting in a bit of that as well. I think it's really important to get outside. It's really good to visit with the business community and the tourism leaders, but it's also people who are there doing the business. They're the ones who really have a good story to tell, and they're the ones we need to talk to.
Okay, let's look at the things that you are doing in Parliament at the moment.
Yes.
The Easter Trading Bill?
Yes, that's something that's been going on for the whole of the 6 years I've been in Parliament now. When I was elected to Parliament 6 years ago, I undertook with my local business community in Wanaka to fix the Easter trading fiasco. Now what happens is that Queenstown has an exemption to trade over Easter, so all their shops are open on Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and they have thousands of tourists flocking to town. Wanaka, which is just over the hill, has a Warbirds over Wanaka show every second year, so there are up to 100,000 people in the town. They're not allowed to open. They're not allowed to open for trade, and there are other communities around the country that are in the same situation. Now we're in a time where we need to have good economic activity. Christchurch, if nobody else in the country, needs to have good economic activity over Easter, so I'm trying to change the law on that.
Okay, and Freedom Camping Bill.
Yeah,
How about that?
Well, again, it's something that has come to me as a local MP. I've had groups of people. Now, I mean, it's no secret that the Waitaki electorate is the most beautiful part of New Zealand, apart from maybe, you know, places like Christchurch and the lower part of the South Island. But along with scenic beauty, we have freedom campers. Now these are people who come in motor caravans, or they might be in a you know, just a car. They camp by a lakeside, they camp by the seaside, and there are no toilet facilities, and they leave a little bit of themselves behind. Now it's a problem, and it's a big problem for us. And we've got the Rugby World Cup coming in 54 sleeps, is it now? Maybe even less.
Okay.
And we're going to have up to 80,000 more visitors in town. In the country. We don't need them leaving a mess behind, and so what we are trying to do is bring in some legislation to get on top of that problem as well. Our message is, we want you here, we love you here, but please respect our environment.
And finally, the relationship with India.
Yes, well, of course, part of John Key's very strong agenda is opening up trade around the rest of the world, and that is incredibly important for a country like New Zealand. I mean, our major exporter is dairy products, and so John Key is very keen on opening up markets for New Zealand. India is one of those emerging markets for us, and so part of my responsibilities in Parliament on the Foreign Affairs Committee is to have a look at those kind of markets. So we're conducting an inquiry into New Zealand's relationship with India. It's fascinating. It's a big country, a lot of potential for us in terms not only of dairy products, but in terms of students. Now that is something that will benefit Christchurch, is having foreign students, more foreign students coming into Christchurch. So that's one of the things that is very important to our future in New Zealand, and it's very interesting as well getting to know another country.
All right, Jacqui, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank
and
you.
Have a good day in Christchurch.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome Max from the Sumner Community Group. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
How is Sumner? How is it coping at the moment?
Better than a lot of people are thinking. We've been badly hit in February, and in June, yes, we received way more damage, but the community is reacting very well, and we have still a lot to offer to the city in terms of business. It's still a lovely place to be.
Let's look at how the community has actually come together and formed these groups and different streams of the community group.
Yes, what happened is that in February, due to the evacuation that has been needed, I think the 25th of February, two people from Christchurch decided to run a welfare centre to help people that needed accommodation. And from that, all the work of volunteer developed in a big group that is the Sumner Community Group. And the Sumner Community Group basically divided itself into area of interest. So as a big group, we asked to the resident, would you like to help ourselves, our community, to develop some stream? So we have the urban design team, the one that I'm representing here now. That is one of these community groups that is working on redesign our village and understanding our village, how our village can be related to the neighborhood village.
Because it's going to be quite different, isn't it, to how it has been?
Yes, we still don't know exactly how it will be. There is rumors, talk about our connection with Littleton cut forever. There is, obviously, we lost many cliff faces. We are still now living with containers on the road to protect our lives. We don't know for how long. So the way of living our village will change. But that doesn't mean that it will change in a worse way. We have the opportunity now to to create some very beautiful space to live in. And now more than ever we have a very strong sense of community. As many experts say, when a community recovers itself, the recovery is successful. And I think we are very lucky of having started this process all together, and I'm very proud of being part actually of this. I feel very honoured about.
Now, if this road from Sumner to Lyttelton is cut off, what would that mean for Sumner?
Good and bad. The bad things, we love to go to Lyttelton for coffee. People from Lyttelton love to come to our community to have dining or to go on the beach. I have to say that in these community groups we are also very well connected with Lyttelton, because the community groups in Lyttelton are very strong, and they taught us a lot how to organize ourselves. But on the other aspect, not having that connection will mean change the transportation rules. So basically now we before the quake we had the trucks driving from the harbour to Sumner and then go to town. Not having that maybe will allow us to have a more pedestrian-friendly village. In our process, we've been asking to the community, to the wider community, what do we want from our places? We have lost many buildings. We are losing more buildings after the recent event. We have to rethink the way we live our environment. What would we like? And the community came up with, we love a pedestrian village. We love more intimate place. We love little square, little alleyway, little more connection with the sea. So a change in the traffic through Sumner can change this one in a positive way.
Now, you've had some good feedback from the Christchurch City Council. They've endorsed your community-led master plan, haven't they?
Yeah, that has been a big success for the community. Basically, we started this process only thinking about we need to do something. Along this process, expertise came on board. Myself as an architect, some other architects, landscape architect, traffic engineer, we are all working together to understand what was the possibilities. In this process, we got in contact with the City Council. The City Council was, in April, at the time, understanding what was the amount of damage and how to allocate resources. And they realized that actually we were already underway on understanding ourselves, studying what is the situation and thinking of strategy of recovery. And now the City Council, I think 3 weeks ago, in the council meeting, they approve to support us, but not to lead our project, but to support the community-led. And I think it's a beautiful message. Community, and that is a really strong message that I think we should spread to other communities. We can work by ourselves to develop a better understanding of ourselves, supported by the City Council and central government. But we have to be the first one on the line to understanding each other.
That's right. Now, what's Sumner going to look like?
I don't know yet. Our is a consultation process. We are not giving answer. Myself, I'm working as a coordinator of the one of the coordinators of the urban design team, and we are suggesting to the community what could be. We are suggesting many different things. We are suggesting to reuse the rubble that fell over from the cliffs, to reuse some of the rubble, and develop a better boardwalk, or improve the quality of the esplanade, or thinking about a multi-purpose artificial reef. We are thinking a lot of things. We are asking to the community, what do you think? So we are not giving answer now. We are in the process of having discourse going. Okay.
And so you're asking people in the community in Sumner to come forward with their ideas as well?
Absolutely. We have meeting every 2 weeks.
Okay.
The team will be, it's me and Steve Fitzgerald, we are the two coordinators. And then we have two other architect graduates and another architect and two landscape architects in the design team. We organize this meeting, and our agenda is open to the public, and we ask to the public, please tell us what you want to talk about. Okay. And in this meeting, we run workshop. We sit all together and we say, okay, what do we think about building shapes? What do we think about landscape? What do we think about linkage with the beach? And all sort of understanding what we are and understanding what it could be.
All right, when's your next meeting?
Wednesday, day 27.
All right, Max, thank you so much for coming on the programme. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
After the break, the Women's Refuge. You're back with City Life, and I'd like to welcome Nicola from the Women's Refuge. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Now, it's Family Violence Awareness Week. What's the purpose of this?
Fundamentally, it's as it says on the tin. The purpose of Family Violence Awareness Week is to raise awareness about family violence and hopefully to place families that are living with violence at the forefront of our hearts and minds. I think in many respects, because of our shared experience of the earthquakes in September, we've all of us experienced in a way what it's like to be living with family violence, to be living with the uncertainty, to be living with fear, to be living with concerns about the safety of your children, to be living with the effect of not being able to get a good night's sleep and wondering, you know, what tomorrow brings. That's what families living with violence are experiencing on a day-to-day basis, and obviously combine that with the effects of the earthquake, and it's a really, really traumatic experience for people.
So are things getting worse in Christchurch at the moment?
In terms of family violence, we certainly have seen an increase since the earthquakes. Now, it's really, really important to understand that earthquakes don't cause family violence. Family violence is not inevitable, it's always a choice. But we have seen an increase in the factors that are associated with family violence: the stress, the anxiety, the uncertainty, concerns about finance. We've seen across the city an increase in use of alcohol, and we know that that's associated with family violence. So as an effect of all of that, yes, we've seen an increase in family violence across the city steadily since the September earthquake. We have seen also some important changes in the nature of family violence. So we've seen a shift out to rural areas. In our North Canterbury service, we've seen an increase of up to 40%, and we've seen an increase in service use amongst young people, young women. And very, very sadly, we've also seen a significant increase in the severity of the violence. So our family support workers, when they follow up a police report of family violence, are having to spend a lot longer on the phone in order to talk through with women the experiences that they're having and how to perhaps give them some advice and support to make their lives safer if they feel unable to come into our safe house.
How concerning are these statistics?
They're really concerning. I mean, we have been able as an organisation to employ another family support worker to operate from our rural office, but our city service is really, really busy, and we're concerned about being able to maintain the availability of service and the quality of service because the staff are really, really overstretched. It's really important, you know, as a region, as a city, as communities, that we have the resilience to work through recovery together. And where we are seeing an increase in family violence, we're also witnessing at the same time a challenge to our collective resilience to recover together. And that's why family violence is a concern for all Cantabrians. It's a concern for all of us. And as I say, it's not inevitable. I have a vision, and Christchurch Women's Refuge has a vision of a society where we don't have family violence. As I say, it is a choice. We are there to help. You know, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a child, you know, you can pick up the phone, you can call 0800 1 Refuge, and we're there to advise you, we're there to support you, we're there to help you make it stop.
Okay. If someone does call that number, what happens from there?
Okay. Well, if you're a woman who's calling 0800 081 Refuge, 0800 1 Refuge, you'll essentially the telephone will be answered by one of our family support workers. And that person will essentially talk through with you what's going on in your life at the moment. She'll present to you some options that you have. We'll obviously primarily in the first instance want to identify whether or not there are any children involved and any children at risk, because fundamentally the safety of children is our first priority. We will make our safe house available. We can bring women and children into the safe house. If that's not an option, then we will talk through with the woman how she might be able to make her home safer within the context of violence. We understand often that women don't want to leave the relationship. They want the relationship to work. That makes a lot of sense. They want to be able to, if possible, keep their children within the context of their whole family, and that makes a lot of sense as well. So we will work with women to make their home lives safer. If you're a man and you are concerned that perhaps your behaviour is becoming uncontrollable, perhaps you find that you're shouting more, or you're having to try harder not to hit out, then call us. You know, there are lots of services that we can put you in contact with to help you not progress to becoming violent within your home. And similarly, if it has got to that point, call us too. 0800 1 Refuge, we can help.
All right. Now some things that are happening this week
absolutely.
in regard to the Appeal Week.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's an exciting week for us this week. We've got a number of things planned. Importantly, on Thursday night, we've got a girls' night out, which is really, really good. An opportunity for women to come together and just have fun, to just, you know, indulge in some of those things that perhaps we're feeling a little bit guilty about over the past 10 months or so. We're going to have some experts there. One of your very own, Kelly from Makeup, is going to be coming to support us. So lots of great tips on, you know, how to make your day makeup into evening makeup if you haven't got an opportunity to go home. Some great hair tips, some great fashion tips from Angie Stone. So that's taking place at Elevate in Cashmere on Thursday night. We've still got tickets available.
Great.
So if anybody would like to buy a ticket, the proceeds all go to Christchurch Women's Refuge, and that would be great. We've got our street appeal on Friday and Saturday. So you'll see us out with our buckets. We've got a fantastic team of volunteers who are going to be there helping us. And, you know, just really encourage people to just maybe give up a little bit of coinage, a little bit of paper to support Christchurch Women's Refuge and Christchurch families.
All right, so it's womensrefuge.co.nz, and also you can text HOPE to 3622.
Yes, that's right. Yes, if you text HOPE to 3622, you'll be able to make an instant $3 donation to our campaign. And as I say, all of those donations go to helping families in Christchurch.
Great, and that's 0800 1 Refuge as well.
0800 1 Refuge.
Nicola, thanks for coming on the programme.
Thank you very much.
After the break, we catch up with some young actors from Kids Fest. Welcome back to City Life, and I feel very plain sitting next to these guys, some actors from Kids Fest, Alice and Adventure in Wonderland. Queen of Hearts, Alice and Duchess. So lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, right. So tell me about the show that you're just about to put on.
Well, I think you should say it because,
Oh, yes,
you know...
you're the lead, darling.
Yes, she's the star of the show.
Well, you see, I fall down this rabbit hole and then I get stuck in this wonderful world where I meet all these people.
Okay, and you meet Queen of Hearts?
Yes, we're going to play croquet. It's one of my favourites.
Okay.
And I hope to attend your croquet game, but oh goodness me, I'm always late for things. You see, I have to get ready, and my hair always needs doing. And
Oh, your hair is always lovely, though. I've
thank
always
you.
admired it.
Don't stop it, stop it.
You all look just beautiful, such vibrant costumes.
Thank you.
Or although they aren't really costumes, they're your real life clothes.
Absolutely.
Okay, right, okay. So it'd be good if I could meet Madeleine, Bryony and Logan.
Yes.
Hi, right.
Hi.
Do you know, when I've got to confess, when I walked past Logan when I came to sit down, I gave him a couple of takes. You're a boy.
I am a boy.
Dressed up as a girl.
Yeah.
How's that?
I've done it a couple of times before, but nothing to sort of this extent, I suppose.
Okay. Well, you look wonderful.
Thank
Do you
you.
do your own makeup?
No, I don't. We've got our lovely makeup artist who does that.
In fact, all your makeup looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
I like your heart.
Thank you.
The lovely shape of the
It's
heart.
just- the whole face just seems to be warm.
Yeah.
And so we've got the lips and the thing and the whole face shape, and it's very fun to put on.
When I first saw you, I thought, oh, she's got a bit of a makeup line, but actually, no, it's the heart.
No, this is purposefully done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no blending needed.
So how's the show going so far?
Very
It's
well.
very good. We open tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
and
Okay.
everything is coming
Everything's
together and
really
it's
coming
looking
together,
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
So how different is this one, Alice and Adventure in Wonderland, compared to Alice in Wonderland?
Not
it's got all the original sort of characters in it. But,
We're just twisting the characters up in different ways.
Yeah.
Because it's the same. It's the basic storyline of Alice in Wonderland, but like with Tweedledee and Tweedledum, like they're gangsters, you know, they're just all like, oh, yeah, sure, you know.
Yeah, just sort of a bit of excitement and unexpectedness is really...
Unexpected.
All right.
Unexpectedness, that's not a word, is it?
Lots of songs.
Yeah.
Lots of singing, yeah.
Okay, so you're all singers yourselves?
I don't get to sing.
I'm not. So we all sort of have one main scene apart from Alice, who's Bryony, who's in every scene. But,
right.
And we've all sort of got a song in our scene.
Yeah.
So my song is Girls Want to Have Fun.
Oh.
And I get
Yeah,
it's
good
it's,
song.
everyone's dressed up in 80s clothes and everything.
Yeah.
Fun.
But yeah, I sing quite a few songs in the show, and it's a very musical event. Yeah.
So whereabouts is it being put on?
At the Rangiora Town Hall.
Hey, I performed there. It's a good space.
It is
Yeah.
great.
Good.
Yeah, quite
It's
like it.
sort of home away from home for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like when
we
we
went to perform there quite a lot.
When we came into the theatre, it was just like, we brought in all of our costumes and I was just like,
Yeah. After the earthquake, we sort of we got in there and
Yeah.
it was just
was-
because there was like all the structural engineers and stuff in there, and it was all very sad.
They've
Yeah.
redone it. and
Now,
so
you
it's-
would have been rehearsing through aftershocks and through the earthquake. How's that been? It's been
We've
must
actually
have
been pretty
challenging.
lucky.
We've been really lucky,
We haven't
yeah.
had any aftershocks while we've been
rehearsing,
and it feels very safe in that building, and I think it's just
You can't really let it hinder you, really.
Yeah.
can you?
Yeah.
You sort
So
of-
it hasn't really been much of a challenge, sort of the
it's something
lead up.
that's taken our mind off it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
So yeah.
Okay.
it's a good distraction. And distractions are good.
Yeah. Exactly. Now you're still high school students.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Which school are you at?
Me
We
and-
are at Rangiora High School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I go to Unlimited, which we've had to move, so
Yeah.
I work from home most of the time now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really good.
Now Unlimited is now out at Hallsville.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
How's that going?
It's good. This space we're in now is completely different to being in the city. There's lots more grass. but yeah, it's very different, and it's been quite hard for me making that change.
Yeah.
But carrying on with drama and everything is getting me through that.
Oh, that's good. Now, finally, I mean, it is opening this week.
Yeah.
You're all ready for it?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think
so
we're
ready.
Yes.
It's exciting.
You've got some full
Our
houses.
last
I
full
don't know
rehearsal
yet.
today.
And
We don't,
sorry.
sorry, no, you go ahead. It's all yours.
I was just going to finally ask about who's directed it, who's been the choreographer, who's been involved in the production of it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got our fabulous director who directs most of our senior shows, the owner of the school, Dale.
Dale Hartley
She's like our mother. She's
our
School
drama
fiction
mother.
drama.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the show is choreographed by Tweedle. Which one is he?
Tweedledee. One of them.
He's Tweedledee. He's his name's Anthony Camstra, and
He's really, really good.
he's amazing.
Awesome.
And he choreographed like our school stage challenge last year, which we won. Not this year, but you know, last year was amazing.
Awesome. All right, so where can we get our tickets for Alice and Adventure in Wonderland?
We have door sales. I don't have door sales, and then it's also
Harrington.
at Harrington's.
Yeah, Harrington
Jewellers.
Gym Time.
On the main
Rangiora?
street of Rangiora.
Yeah, the corner of Victoria and the High Street of Rangiora.
Okay. Hey, it was so good to have you here on the program. Madeleine, Bryony and Logan.
Yeah.
Or, of course, Queen of Hearts, Alice and the Duchess. Beautiful thing. Best of luck. Break a leg.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the program. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to City Live, and I'd like to welcome Colin from Greening the Red Zone. Good to have you here on City Live.
Thank you.
So tell me, what is Greening the Red Zone?
Well, as we know, there's been tremendous devastation of the eastern suburbs, and some of the areas are now regarded as being uninhabitable, at least for the moment. There's a massive interest and support for greening the city, and this area obviously is a prime site for restoring and extending the very important wetland areas of the city, and making this a hub for an eco-city in the future, and contributing to our commercial activity, eco-tourist activity. Okay. So I see this as a great opportunity to expand the concepts that have already been developed and practiced at Travers Wetland, for example, and Bexley Wetlands.
Right, okay, because you have had quite a bit of involvement there with the Travers Wetlands. Tell me about that.
Yes, well, I've been involved for over 20 years, first in campaigning to get Travers Wetland protected, and also latterly in the restoration as president of the Travers Wetland Trust. And we work closely with the Christchurch City Council in developing the access and interpretation and the ecology of Travers Wetland.
Okay. Now, you would like to see an eco sanctuary in the Lower Avon. Tell me about this.
Yes, well, I think that's all sort of part of it. We've had in mind for some time to build a predator-proof fence around Travers Wetland. It's about 100 hectares. All of the other major cities and centres in the country have got major eco-sanctuaries like this, and they're very important in terms of not only conservation but also providing access of the population of New Zealand and visitors to our rare and endangered natural heritage and our very special and unique and ancient natural heritage. Christchurch has got a very small example of this at Riccarton Bush, but to make a really viable populations of some of our iconic species like kiwi and takahi and kakapo and so on, we need to have a very predator-free kind of area. And so thinking of something like, 100 or 200 hectares within the sort of red zone that could be fenced off like this, it could be the centre of a revived eco-city for Christchurch.
Now, you've certainly got the background to be able to do something like this. Tell me about your background.
Well, I'm an ecologist, have worked for Landcare Research since its inception. It's one of the Crown Research Institutes dealing with terrestrial environments in New Zealand. I've been involved with also the Christchurch City Council in developing ideas for restoring nature into the city along waterways and also in our drylands, providing the sort of background information for the ecosystem maps for the city which guide you into species for these places. I've also been involved with the Travers Wetland Trust, as I mentioned, since its inception, and with other sort of projects like the Greening Waipara project up in North Canterbury, integrating biodiversity into the wine growing area there.
Okay. Now tell me about your idea about the Christchurch Cathedral.
Well, it's probably a little bit more controversial maybe. I guess I sort of think that the city's had a bit of a problem with its identity, its past and its future, and we tend to sort of have this idea that we could sort of sweep everything away and just remove all of the evidence of the major events in our history and kind of sanitise it, if you like. I actually think, when you look at what's particularly attractive and poignant about places like Europe, which have a very tangible material history on display, it's the kind of castles and the crumbling stone walls of the Roman Empire and so on, which we often go to see, to photograph and so on. We can't have a history unless we kind of start with the present, unless we actually begin our history now, and rather than kind of cleaning all the rubble away, I believe we should sort of preserve some of our ruins. And you can see some examples here. I mean, this is a picture of Athens, and you can see people lined up there behind safe barriers, viewing just really the rubble of an ancient civilization. Now, it may not seem that it's very ancient at the moment, but if we kind of cast our minds forward and then look back, perhaps 1,000 years from the future, we'll see this event immortalised, if you like, in actual tangible stone ruins, much more than a sort of fading photograph might do.
Okay.
So,
should we compare it to the other one you've got?
Yes, well, the other one just shows Christchurch in its cathedral in its rather sort of current, perhaps sorry state, and there's a real danger that we could either end up rebuilding perhaps a cheaper replica of what was there before, and actually losing the real history that's embedded in the structure and the technology and also in a tangible reflection of this tragic event that hit the city. But if we don't retain some of these things and our natural heritage, then we will only replicate futures, you know, sort of some pale and maybe bland sort of modern idea that sort of keeps being recycled. So I think this can provide a much more sort of tangible memorial to those that have been lost in this event, and also to our colonial history. It, I think, will attract a lot more attention and interest in tourism in the future, and I think it can be a much more sort of real replication of our recent history. So, you know, I think both of these things, both the sort of natural heritage and the cultural heritage, can be preserved in these very real kind of intangible ways.
Okay. Now, just very, very briefly, because we do have to wind up. The Avon River Park Facebook group, you do have some sort of connection with that. So if anybody else out there would like to sort of share the same sort of ideas with you, they can go to that Facebook group. Would that be right?
Yeah, sure. They've put up the kind of concept, and they've been you know, appealing for support for that idea, and you can go in and like that concept.
Okay.
So there's plenty of scope for expressing your opinion about that.
All right. Colin, thank you so much for coming on the program.
That's fine.
Now I'd like to welcome to the program Declan from Chocolat. So good to have you here.
It's lovely to be here, Kenny.
Now, back in the olden days when I used to write, I actually wrote a story about Chocolat.
Yes.
I did your chocolate tour. It was amazing.
And launched the chocolate tour. It was amazing for us too. It was,
thank you.
It was well received, and I still have people saying I saw it in the Avenues magazine.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, so it has stood the test of time. We're still running it.
You and your Chocolat bus have become so well known around town.
Well, I think the bus in particular, but the whole emphasis behind the brand has always been about touching people's hearts. That's why we started in Governor's Bay, and that was the original vision. So when the bus came on, it was actually my business partner, Bernie Pryor, that was keen as for the bus. He just always wanted a double-decker bus from a kid. And I had to discern between, is this a childhood dream or is this a reality that's possible? So we found the perfect bus. It came in with the first earthquake. It was actually sitting waiting to come to Christchurch on the day the first earthquake hit. It came in with the relief efforts and the trucks and everything else. And it's as if the time has been right for Christchurch, for the bus to be here. And it has just got fully engaged in city life here with the relief efforts. Now with the Chocolate Journey for Kids Fest, the Inspiration Tour was something we launched before the February earthquake. And I think it's soon time to launch it again. Because
you were very popular at the Rise Up Christchurch telethon.
That's right.
Yeah, you were out there.
We were just packed. That actually gave me the idea for the chocolate journey that I've written for Kids Fest. But that day showed me that people love this. It's people need to be inspired, need to be cared for, and they just step on the bus and it takes them to a whole different place in themselves. So even an adult gets on the bus and recalls beautiful memories as a kid, and the smells and the sounds, and they're relaying stories to their kids, and of course it's done out as a diner on board, so we can facilitate some chocolate eating while on board as well, and we have TV screens, and we can have a great time on board.
Okay, now tell me about Dare to Care.
Dare to Care was actually it started as very much something our company really needed, and you know, since the earthquake we have had to redefine totally what we're doing, because suddenly we were on the other side of the hill, relatively unaffected in structural terms from the earthquake, but the perception was we're on the other side of the hill and we're not going there. And we were sitting on the other side of the hill going, why is there nobody here? So we really saw that in readdressing our business, I needed to get wholesale happening, I needed to sell outside of Christchurch, I needed to get product out. And we were running to every farmer's market possible and everywhere else. But the Dare to Care came, I was being interviewed on national radio, and he asked, how do we support Christchurch? And I said, you can buy our products. And he says, well, I don't know where the products are made. It could be anywhere in New Zealand. I said, well, that's our job. And that was it. I needed to get a brand, a logo that would help people know that they are supporting. And I knew from our own perspective, our own business, we had 25 people employed. I don't want to let anybody go. I know we have to get through this together, and everybody's valued in that. How do we carry through this and support the families and the whānau that are here? And so that was where the actual logo is supporting families and whānau, and Dare to Care, made in Christchurch. So it was as simple and as easy as that. It dropped in and it was move on it. And I was very fortunate to have a really good graphic designer, Meurk from Studio Publica, who's a friend of mine. He came up with the concept of the rose window and the emblem, which a lot of people really love.
So is it just your product, the She chocolate product that's being sold, or is it other products as well?
No, that was the idea of it. I really saw that since the earthquake, Anita, that businesses in Christchurch have redefined themselves and defined a new culture. There's a caring, supportive attitude that with our relief efforts with the chocolate bus, we were able to only do that because of the support of companies that work with us. I asked them to help us and they go, absolutely. And I thought, how do I work together? How do we create and acknowledge that value system that's now in place since the earthquake among businesses who are choosing to care, choosing to stay here and daring to care. And so it's really time to put business in a new light. They have a choice to be here or not. And we have to look at what's the meaning and purpose of what we're doing in those businesses and how we are expressing ourselves. Are we, like I heard a ridiculous statement at one stage that most of New Zealanders are disengaged in their workplace. Well, that flags to me that there's something wrong in the workplace. Well, Christchurch, the workplace, has suddenly taken a whole new shift. So people are engaged. They're realising that they are being cared for. We all have a role to play together and we're all valuable in that. So Dare to Care was actually for everybody.
Okay.
Anybody that's in Christchurch making, supporting any service, any product, put it on your letterhead, put it on your wherever you want to put it.
So what's the response been to it?
Fantastic. It's just more, I must say. We only launched it on Friday.
Okay.
And I've had so many beautiful emails back saying, great, brilliant, needed to be done. And you know, I looked around, there was nothing actually in the market. There was websites that you could find out directories of what was open, but nothing that at the point of sale you could actually say, this is my product, it's from Christchurch, it's working, and this is really helping us. So we went to Hands Up Wellington and seeded the idea there. That was a similar event where people in Wellington had said, we want to support Christchurch. So consumers all came to support, and it's obvious that we are discerning, and we can be. If there's a packet sitting on the shelf next to one another and it's got a Christchurch, made in Christchurch, Dare to Care sticker on it, well, why wouldn't you spend it if there's not asking you for any extra, it's just saying, come and help us here.
So what are the other products that are picking up on these stickers?
Well, we have a lovely lady going to make cupcakes, her new business. She wants to get involved. Lund's, the builders, are looking at it today as well. You know, and that's a building firm. They're looking at getting involved. There's another company that's launching a product in Japan. A friend of mine at the university is launching a new cat food product in Japan at the trade show in September. Well, Japan recognises the name Christchurch. Well, it's going to carry the logo as well. And so it actually is not limited to New Zealand at all.
Great.
Christchurch has captured the hearts of the world in how everyone feels the vulnerability and feels, wow, this is a time that we have to have more meaning in what we're doing. How do we start to create that culture together and care together?
Now, just very briefly, because we do have to wind up, how can people get involved, I guess, buy Christchurch products?
By buying Christchurch products, if you're a consumer, obviously see the logo, buy it. Companies that want to put it on their, go to daretocare.co.nz or onto our Facebook, Dare to Care Christchurch. Simply if they want to either get a soft copy or buy the labels. I've arranged to have the labels subsidised, so it's affordable for everybody to be able to buy, and we've kept them very affordable. If people need to stick it on their product, just get onto the website, let us know. Or even retailers, if you're selling Christchurch made products anywhere, you can actually just make a donation and we'll send you a poster and you can put it up in your window. You could be in Tauranga and selling Christchurch made products, and we hope people will be drawn to your business as well.
All right, now again, what's the website?
daretocare.co.nz.
Easy. All right, Declan, really good to have you on the programme.
Thanks, Kenita.
After the break, we catch up with Stephanie Rumble from Flair Image. on the programme, Style with Stephanie Rumble from Flair Image. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again too, Kanisha.
Now today we're talking about beauty tips. How do we keep looking good?
Okay, well there's a whole raft of different treatments and things around to help you looking good, and they don't have to cost a lot of money. I think that's the first thing everyone thinks, oh, it's out of my league really to look beautiful. But I think just a few basic things like making sure that you wash your face every night and apply a really good moisturiser before you go to sleep. And of course, in the morning, putting on sunscreen, regardless of the weather. Now, number one recommended beauty tip is to wear sunscreen every day.
Okay, so it's about looking smart, looking after your skin, looking after yourself. And that's not just females either, is it?
Definitely not. No, men tend to have more oil in their skin and they tend to exfoliate more naturally because they're shaving all the time, you see. So they lose all of those top layers. So their skin is often in better condition than women's because of those two processes as well. So but they definitely need to, sunscreen for men, they tend to be a little more lax on that front. So sunscreen, you know, and if you're heading to the snow, make sure you wear sunscreen. If you're not, if you're just everyday life, even when it's grey, you definitely need to keep that sunscreen up.
All right, now let's talk about nails.
Look, I have for years had nail problems, so my nails have peeled and looked awful, and I discovered probably a year ago an amazing product called Chocolat. Now, it's a permanent polish. It goes on, you get it applied by a beauty therapist. It goes on and it lasts for 14 days. Now, I'm sporting a manicure now that was applied over 14 days ago, and you can see it's still in immaculate, perfect condition. My nails look amazing. I'm getting this off on Friday and replaced.
Okay, that's good. Looks good.
It looks amazing, doesn't it?
So that is featured in CC magazine this month. There was a beauty trial in there about it. So there's a base layer put on.
Absolutely. You put a base layer on, then your hand's cured under UV light, and then 2 layers of colour, depending on what you do. Like I often want something different, so Paula has to change the colour around a little bit to get something zany for me. Yeah. But you can go with a normal French polish or just a really regular light colour if you're not into bright colours. So 2 layers of colour and then a top coat which is also treated. Look, and it's so hard. I mean, yesterday I cleaned out the garage and my manicure still held up. So really, I very much recommend it, and it's good for the condition of the nails as well.
That's good. So, I mean, it's as soon as you get it done, you can just like pick up the bag, put your coat on. It has no nicks or anything like that either.
You know, it's rock hard. The minute you leave the salon, which is great, you just reach into your handbag, grab your wallet, off you go.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So really good longevity in your manicure, and it's a really good way to finish off your outfit too. It doesn't need to be long talons of acrylic nails. You know, just a nice, simple, sedate manicure if that's what you want as well. Or it can be bright and out there too.
Yeah, just like you.
Just depends what you want,
No, I love shellac and Louisa is great. All right, so how do you combat frizzy hair when it comes to winter?
Oh, look, I'm the queen of frizzy hair, having all these curls, and a lot of people have naturally curly hair, so...
I do.
You do?
Mine's just like yours, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and look how beautiful and smooth it looks. So I think really, and we'll both understand and relate to this, when I'm sick, my hair gets really frizzy and dry, so you need to make sure that in the winter especially, because we tend to blow dry hair more in winter because it's so much wetter and it doesn't dry naturally, you need to make sure you're using a really good oil product in your hair. Okay, you might need to wash it a bit more often if you're putting more product in. Also watch that you are putting a finishing spray or something in there as well, but look after yourself, have enough water, eat properly and sleep properly, because your hair and your nails are a reflection of your general health.
All right, now, I don't know about you, but in winter I find that my skin gets drier because of being inside and air conditioning all day. Is that right?
Yes, and absolutely. Fires do that too. Like, I find that as well. Like, I'll find a night sitting in the lounge by the fire, my skin's really dry. So we need to keep hydrating because the dryness of our skin is often a reflection of our inner hydration levels. So keep hydrating, and then also really good hand moisturiser. You might have to put it on a couple of times a day, but stay with that through the winter months.
All right, and finally, your personal philosophies in looking after yourself in general, looking good.
Okay, get enough sleep, drink enough water, and wear sunscreen.
All right.
Really, I think they're the main bastions of looking good. You know, look after yourself, because your outer self is a reflection of your inner self.
Yep,
in many ways.
Exactly. Stephanie, good to see you. flairimage.co.nz for all your info on your blogs.
Thank you.
Good to see you. That is City Life for today. You can get in touch with us. You can email me, kaneta@ctv.co.nz. You can call us 3777 033, or you can write to us, PO Box 1100 Christchurch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.